We are delighted to offer 3 paintings by James Wilson Morrice this fall season at Cowley Abbott. 2 major canvases are here with me today, representing important subjects and periods in the artist's career. James Wilson Morrice visited Venice at least 7 times between 1894 and 1907, often for weeks at a time. The paintings he brought back to his Paris studio illustrate his artistic development during that period. From early small pochades, then beautiful impressionist studies of facades at sunset on the Grand Canal, and his late works with almost fauvist bursts of oranges and turquoises under blue skies. This canvas, Venice Night, is a large panoramic nocturnal scene at the steps of St. Mark's Basin, or the Bacino, with a view of gondolas and the Church of the Salute. The Bacino is shown at low tide, which accounts for nearby boats waiting for customers to cruise the great waterway. Venice Night is animated by the 2 onlookers who look in Morrice's direction, and the balloon-shaped tree replicates the dome of the Salute Church. An extraordinary Baroque church from 1631, the Salute is shown in a side view with its domes lined up in profile to balance the steps. The waterway is punctuated with gondolas and the torchlights, with Morrice's deliberate brushstrokes on the stairway almost mimicking the repeated motion of the gondoliers pulling the water. The monumental canvas is filled with plotted vignettes that create an almost collage-like image. At the same time, the range of color is limited, and the spectrum of light to dark is relatively narrow, keeping everything in its carefully composed place, which was intrinsic to Venetian pictures by James Wilson Morrice. Coming from a private collection where it was enjoyed for decades, we are delighted to offer this rare painting to the market this season. James Wilson Morrice resumed his international travels after the war, visiting North Africa, Trinidad, and closer to home in Paris, the south of France, and Corsica. It has also been noted in his biography that the artist traveled to Jamaica in the spring of 1921. This incredible painting to the left seen here, Landscape Algeria, was exhibited in the 1923 Salon d'Automne in Paris, with other works by Morrice. The salon ended on December 16th, and the paintings were returned to his dealer until Morrice was able to pick them up. But during his travels shortly after Christmas, the artist collapsed and died a week later in hospital on January 23rd. The dealer kept the 2 paintings, and his nephew David Morrice found them in 1929. With its luscious vegetation and its mauve sky, the oil painting continues an artistic style Morrice had adopted in Morocco around 1919-1920, and pursued in Trinidad the following year. The flat decorative composition and the almost saturated palette show the influence of Gauguin and Matisse. Perhaps inspired by Cézanne, the artist painted strong contours of the foliage through freely and lightly enough to let the white ground show through. This technique is borrowed from watercolor, the sketching medium Morrice preferred at the time. After years of sketching rapidly in oil, he was ready to enter a new artistic phase, pushing the simplification of forms and colors even further. These late works, with a bold dark blue sky, make the viewer wonder where his art would have led him if not for the artist's early passing. Given its date and its history, Landscape Algeria is very likely the very last canvas painted by Morrice. Cowley Abbott is pleased to share these artworks with you during our live previews, and we look forward to the auction on November 27th at the Globe and Mail Centre in Toronto.